Hey everybody, it's Emily at ARG Schooling, and today let's do a book haul. So I did buy books this month, and let's just chat about it. I have 18 books, or book-like things, to discuss today. Let's just chat about the things I bought. Most of these were pre-orders. So first I'll show you Amari and the Great Game by B.B. Alston. This is the sequel to Amari and the Night Brothers. This is a great middle grade series. It focuses on a black girl named Amari, who is the protagonist of this whole story. I don't know if this is meant to be like a trilogy or if there's going to be like a long-running series. I'm not sure, but I really enjoyed the first book, and so I went ahead and pre-ordered this. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but I'm hoping it's as good as the first book. Maybe it'll even be better. And this is just a story about a girl who discovers that she lives in a world that has all this supernatural magic in it, and, you know, is hidden from regular people, but she is one of those people who is able to see it. Next, I have one of my most anticipated books of the year. I have a couple of those in this book haul, but this is the newest from Tiffany D. Jackson, The Weight of Blood. I love all of Tiffany D. Jackson's books. She's always an auto-buy author for me, and when I heard she was doing a Carrie retelling, I got excited. Carrie is one of my favorite Stephen King novels and one of my favorite scary movies. Like, those like updating, rebooting, whatever you want to call it, more Carrie, all of them are good. Like, I have not really been disappointed in any of the Carrie reboots, so I am very interested to see what she did with this. Like, what's the twist? I want to read it. This is also the book club selection for October, so if you want to jump in on that, the ARGed book club is going to be reading The Weight of Blood for October. It is our last book club selection of the year, so if you want to get in on it during 2022, this is your last chance. So pick it up, read it along with me over the course of the month. I have a Discord. Let me know in the comments and I'll give you the link. And yeah, we'll be reading this. Another pre-order. I got Sirwa Boateng's Guide to Vampire Hunting. This is Roseanne A. Brown's, I think it's her first middle grade. It might be. I'm not sure. I might be wrong. But anyway, I bought this because this is vampire hunting. This is like Buffy inspired, kind of. I've heard good things. I'm down for just about anything that's even remotely inspired by Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Give me all of that. Then I pre-ordered As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow by Zulfa Katu. This is a story about a girl who is from Syria, and this is like set, I believe, like just as things start to go bad in Syria. So yeah, it says Salama Kassab. It was a pharmacy student when the cries for freedom broke out in Syria. She still had her parents and her big brother. She still had her home and an average teenager's life. Now Salama volunteers at a hospital in Homs, helping the wounded who flood through the doors daily. Secretly, though, she is desperate to find a way out of her beloved country before her best friend and sister-in-law Layla gives birth. As her desperation grows, her PTSD takes physical shape in the form of a companion, Kaf, who haunts her every move. So it says at the bottom that this is perfect for fans of The Book Thief and Salt to the Sea, and the stunning speculative debut burns with the fires of hope, romance, and possibility, and it's a love letter to Syria and its people. And that just sounds like a book I need to read. Next, I pre-ordered I'm the Girl by Courtney Summers. I read, I think it was her debut, Sadie, a couple of years ago, and absolutely loved it. Tried to read her sophomore book, which I can't even remember the name of, and just like could not get into it. When I heard about this book, it kind of like made it sound like this was coming back to her roots with what she did with Sadie. And so I was very interested in reading that. This is another story about a girl trying to solve a murder. She discovers a dead body of a young girl and decides to figure out what happened. I don't know if it's going to have like the podcast situation going on like Sadie did, but I'm curious. I bought The Life and Crimes of Hoodie Rosen by Isaac Bloom. This is a debut, and this is about a Orthodox Jewish boy, and like it's a coming of age story. He meets a girl from outside of his religion and upbringing, and that's just seen as not a thing to do. I'm very interested. I've never been an Orthodox Jew. I was brought up in a more like conservative reform kind of situation, so I don't really know a lot about the Orthodoxy. So I'm very curious to read this and like read about that. So also always excited to find books about Jews where the Jew isn't gonna die in the story, so that's always a plus. I bought Thistlefoot. This is by Jenna Rose Nethercott, and I almost didn't buy this because it's a big book. It's adult fiction, so it was expensive, but I decided I wanted to read this. I read, what is that book called? Something like The House with Chicken Legs, which was a middle grade. Loved that. I'd never really read about that mythology before. The whole Baba Yaga thing, the house with legs. That was new to me, but I definitely want to read more things like that. And so when I found out about Thistlefoot, I was interested. But then I found out that this is filled with Jewish folklore and mythology, and I got very excited. So like, not only is it a thing that I already wanted to read more about, it's got Jewish stuff in it too. So like, that made me just like, definitely need to have this. I don't really know too much else beyond this is like Yaga siblings, and they inherit the house with chicken legs from their dead grandmother, I think. And I'm assuming there's lots of adventure and wackiness, but also I hope that it's like really good. I really want this to be good. I pre-ordered The Getaway by Lamar Giles. Fun story. I went to school with Lamar Giles, and I have been kind of afraid to buy and read any of his books. I have another friend who is an author that I went to school with, and I bought her first book and didn't like it. So I was like, ooh, no, I didn't even want to finish it because I didn't want to have like negative feelings about her. I didn't want to talk about it online. I'm not even going to say the author's name. So I've been hesitant, but like, I know that I think I'd like his books better. So I've been kind of like, I don't know, maybe I'll buy something, maybe I'll get one. When I heard about this book, I was like, okay, fine, Lamar, I'll buy your book. So this is The Getaway. This is like a horror thriller inspired, or I don't know if inspired, but kind of like Get Out and that kind of thing. This is about this amazing country club kind of place where like everything's great, everyone's happy, it's a perfect place to live, but something's not quite right here. And I think sometimes people disappear. It's one of the world's famous resorts. He and his family work there, and it's a great life to have, but things on the outside are getting bad, and some of his friends just disappear in the night, and, you know, things are going wrong. This sounds like something I'm gonna love, so I really, really, really hope, Lamar, that I like your book. I also pre-ordered The Killing Code by Ellie Marney, and this is historical thriller, I think, yeah. This is a historical thriller set during World War II. That's really all I know. I've just been kind of looking for things that are historical fiction that I can read and review for History Book by Book, so this caught my eye, and I'm hoping that I like it. This, like I said, I don't really know too much besides set during World War II. I pre-ordered The Vanquishers by Kaylin Byron. Byron? Not sure how you say their name, but this is another middle grade fantasy about vampires. So, very excited about that. Like, I'm ready for all the middle grade vampire stories. Like, I want them all. So I'm hoping this is good. I got Winterkill by Marcia Forchuk Skrypuk. I don't know how to say this author's name, so there it is. Anyway, I bought this because it's middle grade historical fiction set during the Holodomor that happened in Ukraine. So this is about some children who lived through the Holodomor, which was a starvation genocide in Ukraine during that the 1930s. It's a topic that I've heard about but never read about, so I'm very interested to read this. My other most anticipated book of the year came, and I am so excited. I literally want to throw everything out the window, my entire to-do list. Like, I don't want to do anything except read this book. This is Big Bad by Lily Anderson. This sounds like it's going to be so much fun. This is sort of like, if you've watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, in season 3 there's an episode called The Wish, where Cordelia makes a wish that Buffy never came to Sunnydale, and Anya is a vengeance demon and she makes the wish come true. And so she like goes into this alternate reality where Buffy never came to Sunnydale and everything there is bad and it's horrible, and Cordelia immediately regrets this choice. Well, this is basically what if Buffy hadn't come to Sunnydale and the mayor does a spell that makes it dark all the time and it becomes Demondale, not Sunnydale. And we're following Andrew and Jonathan and Anya, and they all work in and live in Demondale, and they're trying to prevent Buffy from coming. And so Buffy is now the big bad, and we're following and jealous. We have Spike and Drusilla. We have Anya. We have Jonathan and Andrew. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this. We get the Ripper. We get Ripper Giles. Just, I want this to be amazing. I read Undead Girl Gang to like see if I would like her writing style. Loved that. So I am so excited to read this. I bought the Book of the Most Precious Substance by Sarah Gran. I've been wanting to read something by Sarah Gran. I think I have Come Closer as an ebook on my Kindle. And I was watching, I think it was Kayla from Books and Lala, her newest video. Maybe not her newest video, one of her newer videos, and she read this. And I was very intrigued. This is definitely out of my comfort zone, but also it sounds like it's going to be a weird time and I'm interested. So this is a mysterious book that promises unlimited power and unrivaled sexual pleasure. And so this is following a book dealer who is trying to get her hands on a copy of this book. And that's really all I know. But it sounds interesting and weird, so I hope this is good. We were out of town this past weekend. We went to my brother's wedding in Virginia, where I grew up, and I spent quite a lot of time in the synagogue that I belonged to my entire like childhood, all the way up till I was like 19 and I left home. And it's one of my favorite places in the world. I don't even know why. I love that building so much. Like, the building itself is such a huge part of my childhood and my memories growing up, and the way it smells, but also the library. Let me tell you guys, if there is such a place as heaven, that is it. It is the library in the synagogue. I just want to be there all the time. It smells amazing, like so great. It's old books. So many really old books in that room. And the entire room gets closed off all the time, so it smells so good in there. Like, it's my happy place. And I had a bad habit as a kid of borrowing books from that library and then not bringing them back because they just smell good and I wanted to keep them. So as I'm in there with Sarah and we're walking around and I'm just like touching the books and lovingly petting them, there was a book sitting facing out on the shelf and I went, that book is calling to me. Oh my god, don't let me steal it. I'm not the book thief anymore, but it was a book that I swear was meant to be facing out to me. Like, it wanted me. So, I did the right thing and I bought my own copy. And so now I have Hasidic Tales of the Holocaust by who? Who wrote this? By Yafa Eliach. And I don't know anything about this besides it's Holocaust related and it's old. It's an older book. This is not the same copy as the one in the synagogue library is a hardcover, but I have a used copy with the hopes that it would still smell nice. And it does have a nice smell, not quite as nice as the one at the library did, but I'll take this because this can now belong to me. So it says this is derived by the author from interviews and oral histories. These 89 original Hasidic tales about the Holocaust provide unprecedented witness in a traditional idiom to the victim's inner experience of unspeakable suffering. This volume constitutes the first collection of original Hasidic tales to be published in a century. So it just sounds like something I needed to own, right? Like the library was trying to gift me a book. Then we went to the bookstore there and I picked up The Paper Girls Book 1. See, and I'm going to blame this entirely on Sarah because I don't know how many times I almost bought the full compendium, but it's expensive and I'm like, I don't need it. I can't justify it right now. Sarah throws this into my hands in the library while I'm talking to my mother and kind of distracted. And she's like, Mother, they have it. So I went ahead and just took it and put it in my arms. It was carrying around the whole time. And not until later did I realize this is not the entire compendium. This is just the first 10 volumes of a 30-volume series. So I spent the same price to buy this that I could have spent on the entire compendium. Like, why? So we have the first 10 volumes. It's fine, I'll buy the rest, but I was hoping to not have to. Then I got my September Nightworms, and the theme was Fever Dream for this month, and the two books I've never heard of, but I'm very interested. And the first one is called Anybody Home by Michael J. Seidlinger, and this sounds really good. It's blurb by Eric LaRocca, and this is a home invasion story, and it sounds like it's going to be wild. This book makes Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay look like a cakewalk, which that book was amazing. I loved it. So it's the most intense psychological horror you have ever read. Seriously, it makes Out by Natsuo Kirino look tame. I don't know that second book, but I know that the house at the end of the world, or the cabin at the end of the world, was not a cakewalk, so kind of scared to pick this up, honestly. And then I have Full Immersion. This is by Gemma Amor, and I don't know what this is, besides that it's horror. Magpie is out of ideas. She's desperate enough to try anything. Just when she thinks her life can get no worse, she discovers herself, or rather, her own dead body, partially buried in the mud bank of a river. A man stands by, a familiar stranger. What does he want? And why can't she remember getting here? And why can't she remember anything? This just sounds like it's gonna be kind of a wild ride of a story. And I also just think the cover is very pretty. So, very curious about that. The last thing I want to show you guys isn't really a book, but it's very pretty and I wanted to show you anyway. I bought my new bullet journal for 2023. I've been getting so many, I buy a lot of washi tape, so I get so many ads for places that sell like stationery and stuff, and I've been getting a ton for notebook therapy. And I finally gave in and I went ahead and I bought something from them. I don't know if this box is doing it justice, but it's beautiful, it's holographic, it's so pretty. The appeal here is that it's bigger than my usual journals. So like this is the size of my normal bullet journal. And this is my new one. Like, look how pretty this is. It's like this cloth bound cover. It's navy blue, which I don't know, might be hard to see. And it's got this like holographic cosmic tea situation happening. So like for comparison, like this is the size of my normal journal. So that was cool. Plus, look at the edges. Like, look at it. It's so pretty. Like, I'm obsessed with this already. So it's like a little bit thicker too. So there's a little more pages. The pages are really nice and thick. They have a good texture. It's got 2 ribbon bookmarks. It's gorgeous. So yes, it's a little bit pricey. This was like $39, I think, or $38.95 or something like that. So it's a little bit expensive, but the quality so far, I mean, I haven't used it, but the quality looks like it's going to be really good. Like, it was worth the money. So if you're very into notebooking and bullet journaling and stationery and stuff, I recommend checking out Notebook Therapy. I don't get anything from them. I'm not sponsored, but I would love for them to sponsor me. But, you know, I just think their stuff looks like good quality. So that's everything I bought in the month of September. It was a pretty good month. I didn't go too crazy. I kind of tried to stick to like what I already pre-ordered plus a couple extras. So let me know down below in the comments if you got any new books in September. I'd love to hear about it too. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Happy reading. Bye.